Hi everyone. So today I'm going to show you the to-do list, which is my project. And basically I'm using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for this. And first of all, let's go through with our project, and after that I will share the code and the README file of this project. So if you see here, so we have a to-do list. Okay, so we have an input. Uh, let's suppose I'm going to add some biking and click on the add. Okay, so it will add, and I have added two event. Actually, either we can click on the button, or either we can press enter after adding something, so it will add in to-do list. Let's suppose I want to add uh, going to, let's suppose instead of going to, watching, uh, which mm, let's suppose playing cricket. Will play cricket in evening. Okay, so add. Now I'm not going to click on the add. You can see here, I just press enter, it will add. Okay, so after adding, you can see there is a filters over here. So the task left right now, I'm both of the tasks are in pending. Okay, so I haven't completed any task, and if I click on any task, let's suppose watching TV, so it will mark as a checked, or it mark as a complete. And you can see here the left count is 1 now, and if I click on the Viking, now left count is 0. And let me uncheck, then it will automatically turn into the 1. Okay, so now we have a filter. Let me add one more uh, task. Let's suppose, uh, shopping. So there is a to-do list. Okay, so I'm adding. So now there are 3 tasks. Okay, so if you see here, right now there is only one task which is completed and the rest of are uncompleted. Okay, so it shows task left 2. And if I click on the shopping as a completed, it shows task left 1. Now there is a filters, so all for showing all the task. And if I click uncomplete, it will show me the incomplete task. And if I click on the complete, it will show me the complete task. Okay, so these are the basic functionality of the to-do list, which I have done with the help of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Okay, now if I show you, the full screen is responsive. The this my to do application is responsible for all devices. If I show you, and if I reduce the size, let me add this and reduce the size, it will automatically reduce the size according to the screen size. Yes, so it is totally functional and totally responsive. So let me show you the source code of this website. So I already uh, published this application on the GitHub as well. So here, so there is a README how I approach this project. So first of all, so there are general steps which I follow when I creating the object project. So thinking about the UI, the functionality, the main functionality of the to-do list are add to do, delete to do, check task, total item left count, filters. There you can see all incomplete, completed, making responsive for each device. And there is a data. So if you see here, so I'm using the local storage of the browser. And let me show you once again. If I refresh it, okay, so so all the to-do list, all the tasks will remain here, because I'm storing all the tasks in local storage of the browser, that have no expiry date, we can say. So and there is a delete functionality. Let's suppose I am deleting the completed task. So let's suppose uncompleted completed tasks. So you can see here. Okay, so let me go through my source code as well. So there is a functionality. So I'm using the local storage for the browser and creating object for the task after whenever there is any task enter. Okay, so I'm just creating the task, and there is a three field of the properties of that task object, that is title, completed, and ID, and they are the function which I'm using uh, for making this project working. So let me go through with my Intel HTML file. So these are my files for HTML. So very basic. So style is according to my preferences. And if I talk about my function, so initially I'm using the function initialize app. Whenever the page is load on the browser, it called initialize app function, and in initialize app function there is three things I am doing. So first of all, I'm calling the render function. So render list will basically render all the tasks which are already stored in the browser local storage. Okay, so and then I am adding two event listeners. So first of all, for the if you remember, I'm first is a key up for basically if I click enter. Okay, so it will uh, handle that. And the second one is click. And right now I'm using the click as an event delegation, because for every, let's suppose I'm click on the cross button. If I'm click on the cross button, so there is only one event listener for this. If I click on this, and if I click on add button, and completed, uncompleted, so for all I'm using only one event listener. After that I'm segregate that. Okay, so if I go to the handle function, handle input key press, if you see here, so in handle key, uh, in handle input key press, so there is a event. If event dot key is equal to enter, then we're gonna make the object and call the add function, add task object. Okay, and if I go to the click event, let me show you handle input, and there is a, okay, so here is a handle click listener. So function to handle all type of click event. Let's suppose if there is an event of click class name or ID is delete. So either of them. So I will call the delete task function. Otherwise, I will if there is a click of unchecked or checked. So I'm creating for the, so task unchecked means completed or not completed, and there is add button click event, and the last one is for filter. So these are the functions. Okay, so if the filter okay, so these are the functionality. And add task basically just add the task to the DOM, calling the DOM function, because we want to add that element, list element, in the HTML file. So for that I'm creating the add task DOM and save task locally, because after if the task is available, if the task is have some text in it, or we can say task is an object. So we are basically calling two function, add task DOM and save task locally. Okay, so let's suppose if the task is empty, so we just need to task cannot be added. Okay, so there is a function. So show notification, basically all type of exception handling. Let's suppose there is no text in a task, so we can handle that. Let me show I'll show you later. Okay, so there is a toggle task. Basically, toggle task is based for check and unchecked. So for that functionality, I'm using the task ID, and if it is completed and all, so delete task for the deletion. And after deletion, I just call the render function. And for a toggle as well, as I'm calling the render function again. And if you see, if I go to the random color function, basically for the, if you see, uh, in this, if I click on incomplete, and if I complete, so rest of the filter which I'm currently using will highlight with the dark color, and rest of are in gray color. So for that I'm using the this functionality random color. And a render list is for the rendering. So I'm just whenever I render the list, I just empty the task list first, and then render the, and add to the task DOM. I'm creating the list and set attribute list ID and all. Then I creating the span init for the deletion icon, and the filter task render for the filters. let's suppose if I click on the filter all completed for that, and the filter task for that, I'm calling the filter task render after the filter. Okay, so saved a task locally. I'm just creating the array of the all objects, and that's it. And these are the main, we can say, variables. So these are this is my let's suppose I'm go back to the my, let's suppose instead of I'm entering something, I'm if I click on it, so it will alert, or the task title cannot be empty. So these are the things we can say. Okay, so thank you guys.